सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। We'll chant these 4 shlokas together. Satchidanandarupaya Vishvotpatyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha. Nigamakalpataror galitam phalam Shukhamukhadamrtadravasamyutam Pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam Muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha Janmadyasya yatonvayaditarataha Chartheshvabhignaswarat Tene brahma hridaya adikavaye Mokshanti yatsurayah Tejo varimridam yatha vinimayo Yatra trisargo mrusha Dhamna svena sada nirasdakuhakam Satyam param dhimahi Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo Nirmatsaranam satam Vidyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam Tapatrayonmulanam Srimad-bhagavate mahamunikrite Kim va parairishvaraha Sadyo hridyavarudhyate trakritibihi Sushrusubhistakshanat. We were in the 15th chapter. Arjuna has come back. Even before Arjuna could come back, Yudhishthira was feeling uneasy in Hastinapur. When you are tuned to somebody very close, and that somebody is not feeling well or is in trouble, sometimes it does happen that out of intuitive levels, as we call in India, sixth sense. Somehow that word sixth sense never really appealed. Intuitive level is okay. Because 5 senses never work. How can the 6th one work? So intuitive, sometimes when we are related to somebody very close, when they are in trouble, we feel there is some kind of a disturbance that we face, or some kind of internal saddening feeling, or let me just try to pinpoint the actual feeling. A heavy stone here, an unbelievably heavy weight somewhere in the middle of your chest, sinking feeling towards your stomach. I think I worded it rightly now. You feel that. And they call you up or you call them up and to find out that there's something wrong. Yudhishthira, who was such a pure-hearted person, so much in devotion to Lord Sri Krishna, definitely there was all scope for him to feel so when Lord had already decided to withdraw from his Leela. Arjuna, who was prompt in sending information back home, probably he used to send SMS. He used to send information back home. He did not send information for more than 6 months. So Yudhishthira calls Bhima. Go just find out what is happening there. I don't feel good. And he tells about his feeling, why he doesn't feel good. As Bhima was trying to prepare to leave for Dwaraka, in the evening dust, they find Hanumanji's flag. You know who is Hanumanji? Who bears Hanumanji's flag? Kapidhvajaha is Arjuna. His chariot is returning back. When you have lost something very valuable and you're coming home, the way you park your car or the way you get into your garage itself is not in that same old fashion as you would have come regularly. Like, you get inside and then open the door, slam the door, get inside. It just goes in, open the door, fall out of that, somehow close the door, get inside in a hanging. What happened? Before Yudhishthira could ask Arjuna what happened, he fell on his feet. And he says, Lord has betrayed me. How can Lord betray you? Did he promise and not give you something? No. He was my very life. And he, after the Yaduvamsha was totally wiped out, only 4 or 5 of them were left, he also quit his Leela. And he relates beautifully how he missed Lord. And in that saying to Yudhishthira and Bhima, he was talking of the Lord and his form. He suddenly fixes his complete attention and devotion on Lord's feet. He becomes transfixed in that thought of Lord's feet in complete utter devotion. All his prana gets merged into his apana, apana gets merged into prana. The subtler body, the linga sharira, vanishes. In the light of clarity of that Gita Upadesha that was given on the battlefield, Arjuna momentarily got the clarity, won the war, forgot the knowledge. In Mahabharata, when Lord is sitting quiet, he says, "Oh, युद्ध में कुछ बोल रहे थे ना? क्या बोल रहे थे? You know, on the battlefield you were talking something, right? It was very interesting. What was it?" So Lord speaks Uttara Gita again. So all that knowledge came back into Arjuna within like a flash. And in that moment, his Linga Sharira, the astral body, got completely merged. There were no more traces left. I was reading somewhere very beautifully. The wick of ego can give out that flickering light or can exist, survive only when it is fed with the oil of desires. You know, when the oil is done, still that flame flickers, the final flame. But that also goes away when that wick burns completely. That burning away of the wick or the annihilation of the ego is the annihilation of this Linga Sharira, the Karana Sharira, because of which we keep transmigrating from one birth to the other. And here is Arjuna, after so many years of association with the Lord, finally attains to Samadhi. Gets completely beyond all questions of sorrow and misery. Now when this was happening, Yudhishthira, who was also saddened by the fact that Lord is no more, some of the Orthodox, if hear me saying Lord is no more, they would have killed me by now. Lord is eternal, how can you say Lord is no more? The point is, he withdrew from the Leela. From that standpoint, he was no more. In that physical form, he was no more. So he was also saddened, but the first thing he did was, what is my immediate takshana kartavyam kim? What was my immediate responsibility? So, Yudhishthira, whose mind also completely revolved around the Lord, this is in the 15th chapter, 32nd shloka, Nishamya bhagavan margam samstham yadukulasya cha swapathaya matim chakre nibhrutatma yudhishthiraha swapataya. Now he has to think what exactly has to be done with his responsibilities. As he was thinking that, what happened to Kunti? Like yesterday somebody was saying, Kunti also left with Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. No, she didn't leave. She was still there. This is what happened to Kunti. Prathapyanushrutya dhananjayoditam nasham yadunam bhagavad gatim chatam. As soon as she heard from Dhananjaya, Arjuna, that the Lord had withdrawn his Leela, it is as though suddenly she saw some kind of sparkling light because of the Lord's presence in the world. That light, when it had withdrawn, she withdrew from the world and had nothing to do with it. She went into Samadhi. I tell you, what a great family it is. When miseries come to us, instead of making the best out of that hard-hitting fact called misery, we whine, we wipe, we cry instead of making use of that opportunity. See, that is why I said even I love Tulsidas ji. How many times wife scolds or insults the husband, or husband scolds or insults the wife? Pretty regular, right? I mean, this I can only imagine. Don't look. Isko malum kaise hua? How did this fellow know? Tulsidas ji's wife scolds Tulsidas ji. You know, if you had even 10% of what you are dedicating your life to me, to the Lord, he would have given you darshan by now. This was enough an insult for him. He left for good, never to turn back again. So when moments come there, opportunities come there, and Swami Shivananji, who is known for his brutal, straightforward words, he says, we are like those dogs who even after being kicked by the master, come back licking the master's feet. When he says in Hindi, with a Tamil accent, but still very powerful, कुत्तों के जैसे तलवे चाटते रहते. This is what he used to say. But here are these great, that is what makes them great. The experiences are same, probably more intense than what we are facing. But they are ready, available to mold their lives as the experience unfolds. The other day I was trying to explain, most of us are like those cricketers who have already taken a stance that this is what is going to be my stroke, and expect the ball to fit into that stroke. And then weep. Why does this always happen to me? Not that you don't have skills, not that you don't have potentiality. We all have that. The only thing is, we are caught up with some other things, and the present moment as it is unfolding, we are there in that moment when miseries occur. In happy moments, we are already lost. In the miserable moments, that is when we are there with the pain in the present moment as the presence. One has to make use of that miserable moment to go out of it. And here are these people showing us how to do it. Kunti Devi, who was so attached to Krishna, the moment she heard it, she completely turned herself away from all worldliness. Many are those who take sannyasa, the physical cloth. This is what is called manasika sannyasa. Completely sannyasta. Nothing to do with any worldliness. She withdrew. As Kunti ji, ekanta bhaktya bhagavati adhokshaje. Ekanta bhaktya, in her solitude, spent her rest of the time in constant meditation on the Lord. अरे मेरे बच्चे क्या करेंगे, वो क्या करेंगे, ये क्या करेंगे, nothing. Listening to this, people ask, Swamiji, is it right for a grihastha to drop everything like that and go? The point is, there is neither right nor wrong. When the time arrives, there will be no doubting person to doubt saying whether it is right or wrong. When the time arrives, it happens. So this was the state of Kunti ji. This could have been done by Yudhishthira also, but he had his duties and responsibilities. He said, let me first finish that as a king and then do what was necessary. So what did he do? Swarat pautram viniyan atmanas susamam gunaihi. Pautram, the grandson, Vishnurata, Parikshita. So he put him on the throne, had the coronation ceremony done. Now he was the Samrat. He was the new emperor for this beautiful Kurujangala Desha. Empire was called Kurujangala, which spread far and wide, almost till Gandhara. Gandhara is Kandahar, Afghanistan today. Mongolia, all the Dvipa around, including the peninsular part of India, everything was now under one Rajya called Kurujangala. In that Kurujangala Rajya, the emperor, new emperor was this guy. And along with that, right, Mathurayam cha, in Mathura, Dwaraka, Mathura, in those places, Shurasena patim tataha, for the Shurasena is the Yaduvamshi, is the one who was left, the only son of Lord Krishna, or the Pautra of Lord Krishna, who was left, the son of Aniruddha. He appointed him as their leader, did the coronation ceremony. Prajapatyam nirupeshtim agnina pibadishvaraha visujja tatra tat sarvam. After having done with his responsibilities, takshanam, immediately what did he do? Visrujya tatra tat sarvam. He left anything to do with world duties, obligations or responsibility. And this, he did not inform even his brothers. My duty is done. I had to establish this kingdom in a able hand, and that I have already done. And he withdrew completely. Nirmamo nirahankaraha sanchinna seshabandhanaha. Nirmamaha nirahankaraha. There was nothing that he could proclaim as mine. See, whether you are a jnani or a devotee, the standpoint is same. You have to become nirmamaha nirahankaraha. If you are a jnani, nothing is real, everything is temporary, so nothing can be called as yours. In fact, whatever you recognize as idam, starting from this sharira, has to be given up. Because they are all temporary. This is a jnani standpoint. What is a bhakta standpoint? Bhakta also cannot proclaim anything as mine, because everything that exists is nothing but his. When everything is his and all that which is nothing but him alone, wouldn't it be called audacity to say that this is mine? It is Lord's. I was reading a shairi. I have a little taste for that. So in that shairi they said, O Khuda, Khuda, the Lord, you are supposed to be the giver, all caretaker. If I ask you of something, then would it not be considered as an insult? Because you are supposed to be taking care of me, right? Would it not be considered as an insult? So you better be taking care of me. That is a devotee standpoint. It is all yours, it is you, and nothing is mine. Nirmamaha. Nirahankaraha. And there is no personal hidden agendas whatsoever. We meet with people, we talk with people, we do things, we don't do things because there is a hidden agenda. Externally there may be a different reason. We may call it freedom, but we may want something else. A hidden agenda. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. That is the main hidden agenda. That as long as things please to my liking, that is when I say I love them or like them. The moment they are not to my liking, all that likingness or lovingness is gone. Honey, I love you. How long? As long as you are in accordance with my liking and disliking. I told you, right, why they use honey? The root word is hana. Ready to kill each other, getting onto their nerves. That is why it is called honey. Nirmamaha nirahankaraha. Then what did he do? Sanchinna asesha bandhan. Without even glancing aside of what is or what is not, he just dropped all his ties with anything. So all that I am is the devotee of the Lord, nothing else. Sanchinna asheshan bandhanaha vacham juhava manasi tat prana itare chatama. Vacham juhava manasi. All the organs of perception and action he withdrew into his mind. The mind he withdrew into his prana. The prana he merged it with apana. Then all the 5 elements, nascent elements, he merged them into their real state. Panchatve ajohavit. Tritve hutvatha panchatvam. After having done all this, completely withdrawn in that solitude of internal, complete silence, he realized the self. The moment you drop here, what happens in? This is an air balloon. What do you call it? Helium filled in. How long is it going to stay? As long as it is tied down. The moment all these ties are cut asunder, do you need to put an effort to float? No, it just flies. Similarly, he just cut asunder all these. And then he withdrew each one, packed each one. If you are very good at moving from one place to the other, you know how packing is necessary. So he packed each one of them. You pack them if you know that you are going to use them again. But here he merged them. He just, those things which are not supposed to be his, he didn't even glance, he just threw them away. That which was internal, he just merged them. And then he merged himself into that supreme in his holy feet. And then what he did? Chiravasa niraharaha baddhavang mukta murdhajaha. Some rags that were lying down, he gave up his shiny royal clothes, he wore those rags. Probably today it would have become a fashion statement. Jeans जो पहनते हैं, फटा हुआ इधर का उधर, उधर का इधर. They call it fashion. But he really wore the rags and he had nothing to do with the worldly possessions. And then nicely there was a crown and other things. He threw away the crown. He had hair, he just let it loose, fall on his face. Mukta murdhajaha darshayan atmano rupam jadonmatta pishachavat. How was his physical form to look at? Jadavat, somebody who was a dull person. Unmatta, or somebody who has gone mad. Can you imagine somebody who has gone mad, how they look with all kinds of shabbiness? Or pishachavat, as though possessed by a demon. He had no glow that he wanted to show on the external. He wanted to go into incognito. Anapekshamano nirgata ashruvan badhiro yata. And he didn't hear anything as though he was deaf. He didn't speak anything as though he was dumb. He just, his head was hanging down. He just walked, reveling in the self within. As they saw Yudhishthira leaving, what did the other brothers do? Same thing, cut, paste, repeat. Vacham juhava manasi tat prana itare chatam. They withdrew everything and dropped all their worldly possessions and followed their brother. Sarve tamanu nirjagmuhu bhratarah kritanischayaha. All the bhrataha, they also decided to leave with all these worldly possessions and go for the Himalaya. Then they say, Draupadi chatadagnyaya patina manapekshatam vasudeve bhagavati he kantamatirapatam. With her complete focus only on the Lord, she also wore the rags and went along with her husbands. So here we have seen what happened to Arjuna, Yudhishthira, all his brothers. Of course, Arjuna was also the brother, but in sequence it was first Arjuna, then Draupadi, now Viduropi parityajya. Now Vidura, who had shown his method to the older brother, and was he like, chalo, bhai ko bhaga diya? He was not of that mind. He wanted to show the right path to his brother. That was his last responsibility. And then he went to Prabhasa Kshetra. He went to Prabhasa Kshetra and then Parityajya Dehatmavan. He left his Kalevaram. And left his Kalevaram not to be misunderstood as suicide. Suicide is when you force death upon yourself. This is when you merge your complete identity. It is like urvarukamiva bandhanat. When the fruit is ripe, like the pumpkin or these cantaloupes, or you don't need to put an effort to pull them. Just do like this and they come out. So as a leaf or a fruit or a leaf in a fall season falls all by itself, the body fell. And Vidura was also a mukta. Now here, in Parikshit's time, now one period, one era has come to an end. The Mahabharata concludes almost. When you look in Mahabharata's text, of course there is Parikshit's little story given, but now starts Parikshita. Now you have to remember why we are reading through all this. I told you, right? You have to train yourself to maintain the train of thought of where we started. Shaunaka and the rishis approach Suta. Suta says that I need to give you an introduction about Shuka. In order to give an introduction about Shuka, he talks about Vyasaji, Vyas Maharaj, and all that story of what had happened. Then Shuka. And Shuka also, how did Vyasaji learn this? Narada told him his autobiography, and listening to that autobiography, Vyasaji was inspired and he wrote Bhagavata, which was taught to Shuka. This was the story of the orator. Now the story of the listener, Parikshita, how was Parikshita born, what was the conditions. So there was the war of Mahabharata, First World War was done. After that, then there was a couple of incidences along with Ashwathama, then was with Bhishma, then Lord left for Dwaraka. In Dwaraka everybody dies. Lord also completes his Leela. Arjuna comes back sad. All of them, realizing the purpose of their life, move towards Himalayas. One chapter is done. In this, how protected was Parikshit with the Lord or by the Lord was also specified. Without whose protection, Parikshit would not have been an existing entity. So Parikshita, his reason how he was born was also because of the Lord. Now comes of Parikshit's age. Tatah Parikshit Dvijavarya Sikshaya Mahim Mahabhagavatasya Shasaha. Very able-handed as he was, as his ancestors, he started ruling this country and expanding it beyond the horizons. Sa uttarasya tanayam upayema iva iravatim. Iravati was the daughter of Uttara Kumara. Who is Uttara Kumara? His maternal uncle. So his daughter, who was Iravati, he married her. Who he? Parikshit married his maternal uncle's daughter. Now here, as a note, not all traditions have this kind of a system wherein they marry their maternal uncle's daughter. A couple of places in Kshatriyas, it is a known trend, a known tradition. In certain parts of India, there is still that tradition. If this be heard in Texas, it would be called illegal. It is illegal to marry your uncle's, maternal uncle's daughter, cousin. And this was told by a social worker to me. That is how I know these details. But in those days, it was the Kshatriya tradition to have it, and he married his maternal uncle's daughter. Now in their marriage, they had 4 children, of whom the eldest one was Janamejayadimscha Chaturasya Utpadayat Sutan. They had 4 children, of whom the oldest one was Janamejaya. As once he was walking around or going around in his chariot, when Parikshit was going around in the chariot, he saw Nrupalingadharam Shudram Gnantam Gho Mitunam Pada. He saw something which was weird, which he had never seen. The couple of a bull and a cow was being kicked by a person who most probably was a Shudra by his behavior, but he was wearing royal dress. So he got intrigued, who can this be? Now Shaunakji starts. Now Shaunakji knew who it was. Who was this? He was the Kali. Kali, who was in the camouflage of a royal dress, was kicking the cow and a bull. And Parikshit was disturbed seeing that. Now Shaunaka says, Kasya hetoho nijagraha kalim digvijaye nrupa. Why did that Parikshit not tie down this Kali forever, for good? Why didn't he kill him off? Because he had that opportunity. Because you know what happens in Kali. Now as this Yuga is called Kali Yuga, there are many meanings of Kali. One meaning of Kali is mechanical. What else can be the best method to be told about this Yuga? So life is so mechanical, right? It is automated as though. Comes Monday, drag yourself to work, eagerly waiting for, thank God it is Friday. Knock yourself on Friday evening. What do you call it? That knocking period is called happy hour. You knock yourself out in the happy hour. I still don't understand whose happy hour it is. The vendors or the customers. Anyway, it is called a happy hour. Knock yourself out and then hangover on a Saturday. Feel depressed for Monday on Sunday and start again dragging towards Monday. Once in a while, you get long weekends, meaning you get a Thursday or a Monday, from the Thursday evening or the Monday evening, till Monday evening, either or. You get a long weekend. What do you do in the long weekend? They say in winter times when you have so much of holidays and things, you put on at least 10-15 pounds extra. Because breakfast done, the next thought is of lunch. Lunch done, next thought is of dinner. That's what we call party, right? So partying and partying and partying. Long weekends. Or vacation. There was somebody who had gone for this Disney World, long weekends, and comes back saying, Swamiji, now I need a vacation. Because that is also a burning experience. And especially if you go with the kids. And the kids are less than 10 to 12 years of age. Gaya. Mommy, I need it. And he said, Chal, give it to me right now, right here. And then how much, 2 bits of it they take and then take, I don't want. Why did you ask? I don't want now. Anya prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajaayate. Everything, the kids are like that. And you feel so burnt out after that vacation. Mechanical life, right? You see a pattern and that pattern alone gets repeated. And that we call successful living. Good. Nice definition of success. Mechanical rut. That is one definition of Kali. The second definition, which is also very befitting, is Yantrika Yuga. Yantrika Yuga, which is very mechanized, mechanical, automated system. Somebody knew that my love for coffee. So when I went to their house, he displayed his coffee maker. Must have been really very costly one. He has 5-6 varieties of beans. I think 7 varieties of beans. And 6-7 flavors like vanilla or cinnamon or nutmeg. And that is also there, which is already fed in. They'll be crushed fresh. Okay. They'll be roasted little bit. As per your order, they'll be roasted in that machine, crushed fresh, fed into the espresso maker, and you can time it. You can time it, and by that time, it will filter it out. It will be there ready with the mug. Everything is automated. Nothing requires any kind of an effort. And that is why we start building layers of undigested fat. And then you run to the plumber. There is a clog here. And he unclogs it. Cardiologist. Everything is so automated around. So much so that even driving, if you are on a highway, all that you have to know is your only thumb movement. Put it on a cruise mode. If you can see the traffic that it is slowing down, slow your speed. If you resume. It's so automated, nothing to do, nothing to move. That is called Yantrika Yuga. Kali also means Kalushita Yuga. 3 meanings. Mechanical Yuga, mechanized Yuga, and Kalushita, polluted Yuga. What is pollution? Anything that is disturbed of his natural balance is a polluted environment. Anything, externally, internally, whatever it is, when it is disturbed from its natural balance, is called its polluted existence. And don't we see that around? Kalushita. If you go to California side, LA, evenings, the smog is so thick. You literally cannot see that bridge. You cannot see those tall buildings in downtown area. Why? That kind of pollution. Now what to talk of external pollution? I think you can handle the external pollution. I was going through Singapore airport. I was flying through there. There are these rooms for smokers where they can smoke. And it soon would be the time wherein there will be rooms provided, fresh air. Pay for it, go inside, breathe for a while, then come out. We are there almost. Yeah, now we are like water bottles, oxygen bottles are on sale. Yeah, there. If probably 20-30 years ago somebody said, you can make money, mint money out of bottling water, they would have laughed at you. Let me tell you, tons and tons and tons of these fresh air, you just gather it. 5 years down the lane, you will be a millionaire. And if you do become a millionaire, half of it royalty to Chinmay Mission. Just for using the idea, man. Such a brilliant idea. Kalushita Yuga. So that is Kali. When Parikshit knew that this fellow's existence would be creating so much of pollution, so much of disturbance, and he had the opportunity to kill him, why did he not kill him? Why did he not finish Kali then and there? And he says, it is unlikely of somebody like Parikshita to let Kali go. Suta says, this is what happened. Yada parikshit kurujangale avasat kalim pravishtam. As this Parikshit saw the effects of Kali entering into his Kurujangala Rashtra, nishamya vartamanati priyam tatasharasanam. He took his bow and arrow and made sure that the borders were well established and nobody could penetrate those borders. In his very beautiful chariot, Bhadrashvam Ketumalam, they were black horses and a beautiful chariot that he had, that he just ran around all his borders, securing its borders. Now when he was going around in these borders, there's something which is strange which happened, which actually Sutaji started out saying. Shaunaka stopped him with his doubts. Why did he not kill him? So this is what was happening. Parikshit saw this cow and a bull. So who were they? The cow was Dharani, Mother Earth, who had taken the form of a cow. And Dharma was in the form of a bull. So Dharma, looking at Mother Earth, who was weeping. And how was her weeping? In the 18th sloka, very beautifully described. He says, Dharma padaikena charan vichhayam upalabhyagam pruchhati swam shrudvadanam vivatsam iva mataram. Vatsam, with a kid. Vivatsam, somebody who has lost their kid. Like that you are crying constantly. What is the reason? Asked Dharma. In the form of a bull who was standing on one leg. Don't try to picture it. You will fail. It is a symbolic gesture that is being given here. We will come to that symbolism later. What did Dharma ask? Dharma said, what happened? Why is it that you are weeping? Are you okay? Are you keeping well? Or is it that something has happened with your health that your face looks so pale and drawn within? Or is it because you are sorrowful about my existence on one foot, having lost three? Or are you sorrowing because of the people and the way that they are living, or the way that they have started living? Are you angry with the kings, the way they are ruling? Are you not happy with the Brahmanas who are not following their way of life, that they had to lead the people into righteous path? They themselves have become corrupt. Or is it because that you are seeing this kind of a mechanical life wherein nobody has time for anything else other than their own swartha? And then finally says, is it because that Lord Krishna has completed his Leela and you are missing him? Then Mother Dharani, she says, Bhagavan, hey Dharma, as if that you don't know all these that are happening, but you are asking all this to bring in some kind of solace to me. But I am sure, I am aware that you being Dharma, you know what exactly is the reason why I am crying. Of course, I am crying because I don't see the Lord anymore. That Lord who is the very embodiment of Satyam, Shaucham, Daya, Kshantihi, Tyaga, Santosha, Arjavam, Shamodamas, Samyam, Titiksho, Paratishrutam, Jnana, Viraktischa, Ishwaryam, Shauryam, Tejo, Balam, Smritihi, Swatantram, Kaushalam, Kantihi, Dhairyam, Mardavam, Evacha, 40 beautiful pointers that she brings out, positive pointers. I could write a book saying 40 pointers of effective living, or 40 pointers to divinity, because this is what is the Lord and His attributes. Now, in the Lord, who is the very embodiment of all these gunas, looking at Him, people around used to follow that. Now, in His absence, people have taken their own convenient levels. Satyam. Even in court of law, you are not guilty unless proven. Isn't it? That is the level of Satya. Shaucham, as long as colon is alive, you are Shaucha. I'm not kidding. Go to the universities. I think SMU, there was this kid who was looking little sleepy. I said, क्यों भाई नहाया नहीं क्या? कल कभी नहाया था. बदबू नहीं मारना चाहिए. मैं अभी cologne डाल के आया हूँ. I've just put on this cologne. I shouldn't be smelling bad. The concept of shaucham externally is gone. Internally was never there. So with the Lord not being there, these things are not being followed. And the burden of this and the inflicting pain on earth is increasing. So I am weeping, missing that Lord. As they were speaking, tayorevam kathayataha, as they were speaking to each other, Parikshit heard this conversation. Now Sutaji says, in the 17th chapter, Tatra Gomithunam Raja. Now this couple who were, the cow and the bull who were talking to each other, as he reached, he saw this Shudra dressed in a royal attire was kicking them as they were talking. Probably he didn't have even the decency to let them alone with the conversation. After that he could have kicked. So as he was kicking and Parikshit overheard this, he thought, why is this happening in my place wherein Lord Krishna, Pandavas and all these great warriors were there? This should not be happening. So Parikshit goes to them and tam va mrnala dhawalaha pader nyunah padacharan vrisharupena kim kaschit devo nah parikhedayan najatu pauravendranam dordanda parirambhite. Now he kicks this fellow Kali, takes out his sword and puts him on the sword point. While he is on the sword point begging for mercy, Parikshit Raja is speaking to the go and the bull. He says, it is strange to find that, O bull, you are standing on one leg. Impossible as it seems, who are you? Who has done this wrong to you? And why have you lost your 3 legs? This is the best answer that anybody could give. An amazing answer that the bull gives to Parikshit. Dharma uvacha, pay attention. Ye tadvah pandaveyanam yuktumat marta bhayam vachaha yesham gunaganaih krishnaha dautyadau bhagavan kritaha. It is so pleasing to see, O Raja, that somebody is there with comforting words at least. And no wonder, it is the Lord Himself who has protected you. You carry that samskara with you. Now coming to your question. You have asked a very interesting question. And somebody asked a question, and in this country if you say it is interesting, it may mean many things. Like when I used to visit somebody's, many people's house, and they used to serve, and it's very interesting, I used to say. How is food? Very interesting. They used to have a different look on their face. It is only later that I understand that interesting is a word used to cop out of the situation. You cannot say it is bad. So you say it is interesting. What is interesting? No, go figure. Or you don't say it. It was not that kind of interesting. He says, your question is interesting because it has got various standpoints to be answered from. Kechid vikalpa vasana ahuratmanam daivamanye pare karma swabhavam apare prabhum. He says, some say that for this kind of suffering, it is oneself alone who is the cause for their suffering. There are others who attribute this to fate, providence. Then there are some who say that it is your own wrongdoing that is yielded this kind of a result of misery and suffering. Then there are others who say that it is God who is giving us this suffering. Daivamanye. It is God alone who has picked on you to give you this suffering and misery. This is what some people say. O royal one, Parikshita, these are the different opinions about why one gets suffering. Now, as you are well learned, you decide for yourself which one of these could be the reason. Who was speaking there? Dharma himself. And he did not point out a reason saying that this is the reason. He gives various different standpoints and says, you pick what could have been the right one. Immediately Parikshit recognizes who is in this bull form is none other than Dharma. So Parikshit says, Dharma bravishi dharmagnaha dharmosi vrisharupadhrika. You speak of such straightforward dharma. You must be verily dharma in this form of vrisha, bull. And you may ask why. He says, there is a very beautiful logic here. He says, Yad adharma krita sthanam suchakasyapi tad bhavet. Even if you indicate saying that this is the cause of the suffering, meaning you yourself are also an integral part of what has happened wrong. You have allowed it to happen, so you are an integral part of it. You have the equal share of somebody who has done wrong to you. And as your situation, you don't have a choice, and you have to go through this experience, and this kind of an answer only could be given by Dharma. And since now I recognize you as Dharma, probably here is nothing but Bhudevi in this form. And he says, you had, O Dharma, 4 legs. What are these 4 legs? They are like pillars. Pillars of a civilization. What are they? Tapas shaucham daya satyam iti padah krite kritaha. And you are on these 4 pillars way back in Krita Yuga, Satya Yuga. One after the other in each yuga you have lost one pillar. One support for dharma is lost. And in Kali Yuga, what is left? You will be surprised to hear what is left. Any guesses? Who said that? Satyam is the only thing left. I it really took me a long time to understand why Satyam. Imagine, in this world, what is left is Satyam, it seems. Then I was watching a Bollywood movie. I had a revelation of Bhagavatam. I'm not kidding. That is when I had a revelation of Bhagavatam. There is this Gunda. He has his people. And everybody is scared in those people. He says, one of you has compromised with my security. They have leaked the information to the wrong side. Everybody is scared. And this fellow brings the gun. You know, the Sholay level. Kaliya, ab tera kya hoga? And finally shoots out the person who he very firmly knows has leaked the information. That is when I had the revelation. What was the revelation? What they are doing is criminal activity. The people, Anucharaha, those who are around, what they are doing is supporting that wrong. Between these wrongdoers, what is expected is Satya. What is respected between these people is Satya. So meaning, even today, what is respected, what is expected, and what is seen, deemed as something really very good is Satya. And that is what is this Dharma's foundation in Kali Yuga is Satya. Satyameva jayate nanrutam. And what wins is Satya alone. You cannot hide behind the untruthful for a long. And to tell you a fact, it is very stressful to maintain an untruth level. Supposing you are a constant liar. Every single person coming, you keep lying. For the first time, it is okay. Ingenious, you get instant thoughts in lying new ways to others. First time it is okay. Second time, when they come back. See, there are 50 people, you have offered 50 different excuses, lies. You have to maintain a spreadsheet. Which person, what lie, at what context. In fact, if you had said a straightforward truth, it is such a stressless existence. So what is expected, what is respected in this world, present age, is truth. Idanim dharmapadaste satyam nirvartayedyataha. So it is Satya that is staying on one leg. Imagine, all this while, where is Kali? At a gunpoint. At sword point. Iti dharmam mahim chaiva santvayitva maharataha. And this Kali is disturbing both Dharma and Mother Earth. Now Raja, after having given some solace to these two, turns to Kali. You have to picturize it in your head. Like under a huge tree, there are these two trying to talk and this fellow trying to bully them. Parikshit Raja is putting Kali in a sword point and talking to these two, Dharma and Mother Earth, then turns to him. Ab tera kya hoga? Do you know who I am? And it was not a question, it was an objection. How dare you do this in my kingdom? That was the objection. Do you know my ancestors? By whose very name people used to shiver in the opposite side of the army. You know, one of the names of Arjuna was Gudakesha, Parantapa. Paran Shatrun Tapayati iti Parantapa. Staying where he was, just in his chariot, without even having brought out an arrow, he could create fear in the enemies. That was Arjuna. Whose advisor, whose friend was the Lord himself. In such a kingdom, you do not have respect for Dharma and for Mother Earth. He says, I shall kill you. Kali as cunning it was. Now what is the deal with the Kali? We have a saying in our native language. If you can, catch hold of the hair. You know, the total grip. If you can't, hold on to the feet. हिंदी में से कहते हैं गंगा गए गंगादास, जमुना गए जमुनादास. Without a firm standpoint for themselves, wherever they have to adjust, like whatever, they just merge there. He sees Kali now that, you know, this Raja is going to literally kill me. So what did he do? He jumped on the easiest opportunity available onto Parikshit's feet. Sharanagatoham, like, you know, I take refuge in you. Now Parikshit says, this is one weakness now, which has come in me as samskar. That anybody who seeks refuge cannot deny Sharanagati. Says, do one thing. Go away from my Rajya. Now Kali is looking around. Show me a place which is not your Rajya. Parikshit put it very beautifully, articulated it very beautifully. He said, get out of my country. If all that was his country alone, where would he go? He says, show me a place where it is not your country. He says, okay. You can stay only in some selected places. What are those selected places? The selected places are Sthanani Kalaye Dadau. These places were given as a permanent residence for Kali to reside. First 4 places were given. What are they? Dyutam, Las Vegas. That is where Kali resides. Anywhere where there is chala, anywhere there is money involved with chala, Dyutam chalayatam asmi, Kali resides there. Panam, spirituality. Swamiji, they say that having a pint of it before meals enhances your appetite. Run for 3 miles, it will enhance better than that 1 pint. Bahana chahiye. Panam. And then people have weird kinds of logics. Did not these devas have surapana? Yes, provided you are sura. You can also have that pana. Presently you are asura, you don't have the right for pana. And pana doesn't mean pan. Pana means that which is drunk, which is all this alcohol and drugs and other things. That is pana. Striyaha. Now mothers don't jump up with a board. Down Parikshit when he said of Striyaha. Here you have to add another word. Parastriyaha. Your wife? Okay. Somebody else's? Or anybody else? Not just somebody else's. Anybody else is where Kali starts living. I was shocked to watch the Indian channel, Desi channel. Any soap coming there. इसकी पत्नी उसके साथ, उसका पति उसके साथ. That is Kali on satellite. No, I'm not kidding. Whatever you are seeing, as much as you see, that much of abhyasa done, that is what started reflecting. There are two standpoints for that also. People say that we take it from the real life. And once taken from the real life is now implemented into the real life. It is a vicious cycle. That is how Kali spreads. He has got another Adhunika Yantra to spread himself. And then he says, Sunaha. In the shambles that I allow you to live. The Kali is like, such a big kingdom, only 4 places to live. Of course, in Parikshit's time, it was very difficult for Kali to live. He said, only 4? He said, don't worry. Okay then, take the Panchama iti. What is the Panchama? Gold. I have seen this. Wherever there is accumulation of wealth, it causes terrible amount of distress, distrust or mistrust, and leads to fight, feuds. I am not talking of somewhere else. Even in the mission, the best thing is nothing, and you keep putting effort. There is the charged environment. If everything is already there, the focus gets lost somewhere. The money with the standpoints, the understanding, the logic, everything fails. That is what this sona. जहाँ सोना हो वहाँ सोना ही सोना है. बुद्धि सोती है. The 5th place is gold. Now Kali said, okay. Then he says, Parikshit says, Visheshatah dharmashilaha raja, who has to be very careful. Raja, the leader of the society, has to be very careful with these 5 things. Shambles meaning the Vaishyagruhas. You understood it. These are all the vices. The king succumbs for any one of these. The whole country is for not God, but the reverse of it. And also, Guruhu. Those who have to teach have to be careful with these 5 things. Thus, Kali was permitted to live because of his Sharanagati. Now, continuing, Sutaji says in the 18th chapter, once it so happened, and this is a very simple story part. It so happened that Raja Parikshit was on a hunting play and not getting a shoot for that day, he went around in the forest. He was so tired, hungry, famished. He started searching for a pond or a lake or a little rivulet wherein he could quench his thirst. He could not find it. As he was searching for it, he stumbled upon the great ashrama of a great sage. As he reached to that place, something overtook him. Shamika Rishi's ashram, he went and he saw that sage Samika was sitting absorbed completely in his own self. Now when you are in that transcendental phase, nothing of the outside, nor the time, nor the space, nor the sound reaches. He was completely lost in his meditation. And how was Parikshita? He was completely tested. He was completely hungry, he was thirsty. And have you ever faced hunger? I am not talking of a day hunger or something like that. When we are in upvasa, I am not talking of that hunger. Real hunger, lack of food. Touch wood, never be in that situation. I tell you, personal experience. I did not have food for 3 days. And continuously walking. It's the first time I felt what hunger meant. You know, when there are cramps in the stomach and you drink water, it hurts more. It's that kind of pangs of hunger. Very, very powerful. At that time, talk Vedanta. That is when I understood the statement that Vivekananda ji made. Never preach Vedanta to a hungry stomach. Because at that moment, if somebody had come and tell me that this whole world is mithya, you are mithya, your hunger is mithya, whatever little bit of energy that I would have had, I would have pulled it together to hit one. One at least. Chup! Your brain literally does not work. Parikshit's brain also, it had almost stopped functioning. He went there. You know, when the king goes, what is a normal thing? You know, if they are really older than you, highly educated than you, highly qualified, baith jao. If they are peers, probably they get up, give a shake hand, offer you a seat. If they are younger than you, they get up, offer their own seat to you. Now this Rishi did not even ask him to sit down, did not even find out, Raja, are you okay? In fact, he concluded, you know, there is a misapprehension, there is a non-misapprehension, and then we have projections on that misapprehension. We do not see what is the reality and start projecting on whatever we have imagined. See, Parikshit concluded that probably this Rishi seeing the king come. Okay, if this king comes and I am with my open eyes, I will have to do lot of khatirdari, hospitality. So let me close my eyes. So probably this fellow closed his eyes, seeing me come. So he started speaking to him loudly, he wouldn't hear. He mumbled, jumbled as he was going. He saw a dead snake nearby in the bushes. So with the tip of his arrow, with the tip of his bow, he picked it and threw it on the sage. Now, logically speaking, what does it mean? There is no logic. When brain is not functioning, there is no logic there. By throwing a dead snake at somebody, is it an insult? I don't know. But he did something out of his non-working brain because it was completely disgusted out of hunger and thirst. As he left, who? Parikshit left in disgust. Tasya putro ati tejasvi viharan balakor bhakaihi. He was playing somewhere around and somebody said there is a Raja and this is what happened. He said, what do these Kshatriyas think of themselves? You know, there are people among us also. If there is a small incident, he would generalize it. तुम देसी लोग सब ऐसे ही हो. Don't we see that? You Andhrites are all like that. One small specific issue, you generalize it. Here also he goes to a global level of generalizing it. All these Kshatriyas are mother, and they have a lot of pride and arrogance. As long as Krishna was who took away all the bhuvara of these unnecessary Kshatriyas, world was okay. Now what do they think? That there is nobody to curtail them? I'll teach them a lesson. Let me show what I can do. Pasya me balam. You think Kshatriyas have balam? Look at what Brahmanas can do. He was an Arbhaka. Arbhaka, a teenager who thought himself to be an adult. He is an Arbhaka. A new word for teenager. Arbhaka. Because they think that they know. That is what is their standpoint. Now what did he do? He sipped some water, did prokshana, took some water in his hands, and then gave a curse to the king. What was the curse? Iti langita maryadam takshaka saptamehani dangshanti sma kulangaram chodito me tattadruhram. This king threw a snake on my father. The king of the snakes, serpents, Takshaka, 7th day from now will search for this fellow and bite him to death. When emotions are running too high and hot, why somebody takes a decision, nobody knows. It is only as a guilt we start reflecting, gosh, I shouldn't have done it. Now after having given the sharp, the son was feeling very bad for the father. As soon as the father got up from his meditation or meditative equipoise, saw this son trembling, crying, eyes red, that he has never seen his son before like. So as he was getting up, he saw a dead snake also. So he moved to his son and said, what happened? Vrittantam kathitam. All that which had happened, he conveyed to his father. And the father gave his peace of mind. What right do you have as a young kid who does not understand anything about life to curse somebody to death when you do not have the capacity to bring them back to life? Just because you have that tapobala, it is not that you can use it wherever you feel like. He is our king, the most righteous one, or the one whom very Lord had protected him. To whom you curse? Is a beautiful message he gives to his son. This is a beautiful message for us too. He says, Tiraskrita, this is the 47th sloka on page number 78. Tiraskrita vipralabdhaha shapta kshipta hata api nasya tat pratikurvanti tad bhakta prabhavopihi. Who is a bhakta? Tiraskritaha, rejected. Vipralabdhaha, censured. Shaptaha, cursed. Kshiptaha, thrown upon. Something is thrown upon you. Hataha, beaten upon. Anything be done to get back to the same level and give it back is abhakta. But instead, those who could ask for forgiveness of the Lord on the behalf of those who have done this to them, for those people who have done to them, is called a bhakta. And you have shown to be an abhakta. Son, you have to do lot of tapascharya. Now, in the 19th chapter, Parikshita has reached back home. He is not able to sleep. Remember, he has not yet known about the fact of the curse. Just because he lost himself because of his hunger and thirst, he was not able to justify for himself. He was feeling bad. He says, may my everything that I have, may I lose them all so that I learn a lesson not to repeat this kind of a sin, not just in this life, if I have in any other life. May I be taught a lesson. Atho vihaye mamamum cha lokam vimarshito heyataya. So that later I don't commit the same kind of mistake again and again. Let me get a punishment. And as he was remorseful about what he had done, reaches this information to him that he was cursed to die on the 7th day. The moment he heard that he had 7 days to live, for most of us it is die another day. आज नहीं, इतनी भी क्या जल्दी है यारो, जब जीना है बरसों. Take it easy sometimes. For most of us, or all of us, are like Parikshita only. In a week, how many days are there? If we die, we have to die in one of those days. Do you have an 8th day to die? No. In one of those days. Do we exactly know when it is? Why postpone that for which you are born? For Parikshit, it was an imminent reality. What did he do? He did not waste a second crying, weeping, or wasting his time. What did he do? Iti vyavachidya sapandaveyaha prayopavesham prati Vishnupadyam. He took a sankalpa. He gave the kingdom to Janamejaya, his eldest son. Says, son, you take care of the kingdom, you are the king from now on. He left all his worldly belongings and he said, I take the sankalpa of prayopavesha. Prayopavesha meaning, I shall not touch water or food, let death come by. And he goes to Ganga Nadi Tira. Having gone to Ganga Nadi Tira, Dhridam asanam krutva, he sat down in a comfortable, firm posture, with his mind constantly focused on the Lord. Because he was blessed with that form right in the womb as he was in his mother's womb. So in that form, he focused. Having thus focused, as he had closed his eyes in meditation of that form, the other people who had come to know of this particular incident, all rishis from all different corners of the world, like Parasharaha, Gadhisutaha, Rama, Balarama, Uttathya, Indra Pramadha, Medhati, Bharadvajaha, Gautamaha, Pippaladaha, Maitreya, Kavashaha, Vedavyasa, all of them from all corners, they came by to Ganges. Because after Krishna, the greatest devotee was Parikshita, and they wanted to be there to be of any help that Parikshita wanted. That kind of fame that he had earned during himself being a king. But one unfortunate moment, he misbehaved and he reaped the immediate repercussion of it. That also he turned it into his benefit. That is what makes them a Mahatma. And what did he do? Yes, 7 days is what I have. Good, now I know that it is only 7 days. Make it or break it, 7 days, let me realize that for whom I have been searching all my life. Are we not Parikshita in one or the other way? What are we searching for? Every single effort right since we were born is to feel that fulfillment, feel that contentment, feel that happiness within, which is quite elusive. We are not able to find it. If that not be found in this very life, when are we going to find it? How long are we going to postpone it? What do you call a person who does 2 years of masters in 10 years? Fast. Dull-witted, manda buddhi. Strong foundation. Manda buddhi. In what you can achieve in 2 years, you could not achieve in 10 years when it is called or branded as a manda buddhi. Imagine one single aim of the whole life to be happy, and a whole life spent on it, still not been able to find it. What should we be called? Believe me, Adi Shankaracharya was not wrong when he said, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja. Stick that, write it in bold words and stick it onto your mirror, onto your refrigerator, read it daily. Because we are also Parikshita in one way or the other. But Parikshit made use of it. And all these great rishis had come around. He says to them, Aho vayam dhanyatama nrupanam. And what does he attribute this blessedness around with all these rishis? He says, this must have been the punya phala of my kula. Because of what wretched thing that I have done, I don't deserve any one of you rishis or brahmanas around to be sympathizing with me. That is your greatness and the punya phala of my kula that I have you around. Now, he asks a beautiful question. He says, now that you are all around me, I ask only 2 things. What are they? King Parikshit says in the 24th shloka, he says, Sarvatmana mriyamanaihi krityam shuddham cha tat amrushata bhiyuktaha. For that person who is destined to die in 7 days, what is the next best thing to do? Please advise. I don't want anything else to be known. In fact, this last chapter in the first canto should be called Art of Dying. We keep hearing about art of living. But when death really comes, are we ready for it? This is the preparation for death. Wherein, let it come any time, be fearless, provided you have the right focus. He says, give me that right focus. What is the duty of the person who is about to die? And he says, what should I do under all circumstances to remain focused? Because he has 7 days and he doesn't want to miss even a single moment on anything else. He wants to stay focused so that he can achieve that which is the purpose of this life. As Parikshit was saying this, asking this, there walks by bright young lad, long hair, darker in complexion, though darker, glowing with Brahma Tejas, stark naked, had nothing on him, walked into this gathering of rishis. For anybody else who had not known him would consider him as a madcap. But all rishis, including Dadaji. Who is Dadaji? Parashara. And who is father? Vyasa. Maitreya, Pippalada, Bharadwaja, Balarama. Everybody stood up when Shukacharya walked in. And it's the same two questions that he repeats to Shukacharya. Purushasyeha yat karyam riyamanasya sarvatha. What should be the right thing for the one who is destined to die? Is it not the question that we have to ask? The day we were born, the date of our death was already decided. Before we hit to that corner, should we not spend time on realizing what we are meant to realize? He says, Parikshita, when he asked this question, that person who did not stay in a place for more than the time that it took to milk a cow, what he answered are the 11 cantos to be known as Bhagavatam. So who is the Adhikari? Adhikari for knowing or listening to Bhagavatam is the person who knows with clarity that in this very lifetime I should realize that for which I am born. The moment that intensity is born, the Guru who will lead you to there will come right in front of you. That intensity should be there. Shukacharya comes in. Thus, iti Srimad Bhagavate Mahapurane, in the Bhagavat Mahapurana, the 19th chapter of the first canto, Prathama Skandhe, with the Shuka Agamana, with the coming of Shuka, the Shushka, the dryness of Parikshita, flew away. How did it fly away? That we'll start seeing from canto number 2. We'll start seeing it from canto number 2. The plan is that each canto will be addressed every month, once a week. Not a month, every month, once a month, a week long. Probably there are a couple of them which are very long, like the 10th one and the 11th one that I know for sure are very long to be completed within 1 week. That is one reason. Second reason, they are too sweet to be completed within 1 week. So probably those two cantos we will be doing it more than 1 week. I am not saying definitely that it will be 2 weeks. More than 1 week, definitely, but how long it will take? Hari Ichha. The rest of it we will try to complete it in 1 week each or 6 days each. However long it takes, whichever direction it goes in is a Lord's blessing. I really feel blessed to be speaking on Bhagavatam. Thus we conclude the first canto of Bhagavat Mahapurana. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Couple of announcements. Swami Chidatmananji, who is the head of Chinmaya Mission, Andhra Pradesh, who lives in Hyderabad, is visiting